And welcome back to Zekism. Have you tried to watch South Park recently and you live outside North America? Yeah, me too. Have you been able to? No, me neither. Paramount and Warner Brothers / Skydance / Trey Parker and Matt Stone are all entangled in some weird web of difficulties legally. And now it seems like Trey Parker and Matt Stone have hired a big shot lawyer to sort of go against turn up the heat, it says here in the article from via Hollywood Reporter. We'll get into it. I'll try and add some context to what I know, or to what I've been able to research. So I'm a big fan of South Park, as many of you are, and I've been enjoying watching them internationally on Paramount Plus. I think it's pretty much the only reason I have Paramount Plus, if I'm being totally honest. Because it's a brilliant show, still funny to this day, and so it's been disappointing over the last week or so that apparently the international rights have expired for Paramount to distribute the show internationally. That's curious because Paramount own Comedy Central, who obviously broadcast South Park, and I want to say own it, but they certainly broadcast it in America, and everyone knows the Comedy Central channel was broadcast in the UK. So you'd think that was a smooth sailing process in terms of distribution deals. Apparently not. Seems like Trey Parker and Matt Stone have South Park Studios digitally, and so that's the conundrum legally. Combine that with the fact that South Park is broadcast in North America via HBO Max, for reasons, because of these big media companies and their distribution deals, streaming services being what they are, that it was sort of probably more financially beneficial to take the deal that HBO Max had. There is no HBO Max internationally, FYI. That's probably why. Anyway, it's a legal mess in terms of this distribution, and ultimately us, the consumers, the fans, are the ones who are suffering. And the premiere for the 27th season of South Park, which is due to come on our screens, it was supposed to already be in our screens, but it's been pushed back as a result of this. Now it's been pushed back even further, apparently, due to the fact that essentially Skydance, the studio, are about to purchase or propose to have purchased Paramount Studios globally. And Paramount are about to sign Trey Parker and Matt Stone to a new $3 billion 10-year deal, which Skydance apparently are not happy about. That was more than triple the valuation of the current deal that they had with South Park Studios, essentially. Park County is the name of the studio. Park County, the South Park Pairs... Oh, let me get that on the screen. Park County, the South Park Pairs Entertainment Company, believes it has struck a basic framework with Paramount Global on an agreement. I think that Paramount pre-acquisition was interested in a broader range of possibilities than would have been approved by Skydance and Redbird, an insider close to negotiation says. So here we are with them basically going back on their word potentially, or the new owners saying, well, we're not sure about that deal, that's not financially beneficial for us, because they're about to spend billions upon billions buying the studio in itself, and they're questioning the value of the South Park creators being signed to a deal like that. But Skydance, which maintains that it has approval rights on contracts as it pursues regulatory approval of its merger with Paramount, has other plans. The duration of... Let me get that. Oh, no, it's gone off. The duration of the proposed deal has emerged as a sticking point in negotiations, with Skydance refusing to an extension beyond 5 additional years amid a fast-moving media environment in which it's prioritising its cash reserves. So they're essentially saying they're not happy about a 10-year deal because that may sort of lock them down longer than they're prepared to accept. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know the quality that South Park creators churn out. I think it's a pretty safe assumption they churn out quality on a regular basis. However, this is the media it's a media corporation deciding it's not particularly value for money. We are in a different age than we were 5 years ago, when streaming services were kicking off left, right and centre. We had Paramount being one of them, but we've got every studio or every possible sort of conglomerate of media setting up their own streaming service to try and rake in subscribers and etc. And you've seen what that's done to Disney, you've seen what that's done to Warner Brothers. it's costly. It's it's seemingly not effective, and the Netflix seemingly is, and Prime for various reasons, are the ones that have been able to maintain their foothold on the streaming industry. It is what it is. Here we are. There is no resolution at this time, but all it involves recognise the need for a quick, positive resolution, a spokesperson for Park County said on Monday. Skydance and Paramount declined to comment. A Skydance rep had previously told THR, Hollywood Reporter, that under the terms of the transaction agreement, Skydance has the right to approve material contracts. It's increasingly likely that the dispute ends up in court, which will further delay South Park being on our screens, which is what a bummer. It's increasingly likely the dispute ends up in court. Parker and Stone have brought in Brian Friedman, a prominent lawyer and bulldog negotiator known for aggressive legal maneuvering, to tee up what could be a lawsuit accusing the Skydance regime, including CEO David Ellison and Jeff Shell, the Redbird Capital executive, who will be the president of the new Paramount if the merger is greenlit, of interfering in contract negotiations that seemingly have already been agreed. That's what they're going to try and sue for. The alternative involves a public relations battle in which Skydance could see its name splashed across headlines as another example of an entertainment merger gone sour. They're going to lose the PR battle because Trey Parker and Matt Stone are so popular. So yes, I think there is an element of truth in that. It's going to be seen as big corporate conglomerate bullies, creators of popular show. There you go. That's what the headlines will be. The potential delay to the season 27 premiere, which has already been trailered. I was looking forward to it as well. It seemingly looked good as well, which has already been pushed back 2 weeks later than originally planned to July 23rd, has surfaced as the most visible example of the damage caused by the delay to the approval of the Paramount Skydance merger. The relationship between Parker and Stone, among the most sought after creative duos in Hollywood, yeah, definitely, and Skydance, is in question, as is the future of the show after more than 28 years and 300 episodes. This merger is a shit show and it's fucking up South Park. We are at the studio working on new episodes and we hope fans get to see them somehow, Parker and Stone wrote in social media posts on July 2nd. Yeah, I think it's interesting that the new proposed owners of Paramount have gone after pretty much their biggest creators that are on staff. I don't want to say that out of turn, but certainly they're extremely popular. It seems a weird first step to sort of go to war with them from the off. South Park is owned by Paramount. Through a joint venture, Parker and Stone operate with the company called South Park Digital Studios. This is what I said at the beginning, which is governed by a 5-member board of managers that includes Paramount affiliate comedy partners. Well, that's Comedy Central essentially. The series is produced by Park County. So the series is produced by a company called Park County. Parker and Stone operate the company called South Park Digital Studios, though. So that's there. So there's many fingers in the pie of South Park, and I think Warner Brothers will be involved in some way because they are obviously partners with the distribution in North America. It's all complicated. Who'd have thought distribution rights for a TV program would be this complicated, especially one as popular as this? Park County has an extraordinary, unusual deal, no shit, dating back to 2007 that gives the company about 50% of streaming revenue through the joint venture. South Park was a juggernaut on linear TV and on DVD when streaming video was still nascent. Park County began streaming episodes on a dedicated website with advertising support through later premium subscription services like Netflix, HBO Max, Amazon Prime Video, and of course Paramount Plus would change how streaming videos were monetized dramatically. And you've seen that with streaming services now being folded into one another, particularly through Prime. I think Disney's starting to investigate that as well, with forcing ESPN, Star, which is what we get internationally, which is essentially Hulu in America. So you're seeing subscription services now being owned by big conglomerate studios being forced to sort of have one-stop shop, in their words, in an ideal world for them. So Prime, I get Paramount Plus through Prime. I also get Apple Plus through Prime. So it's becoming sort of like what the old cable system used to be. So we are just, it's a big circle. We're now circling back now. So there is going to be, I would imagine, at the end of all this, there'll be Netflix, there'll be Prime due to their mail order service with a streaming service attached. and maybe Disney because of the size of them, but I wouldn't bank on that either because their costs are so high. Yeah, so it's an interesting world we live in. We'll finish up. Streaming deals for the show expired on June 30th, hence why we can't watch it in the UK anymore, or internationally, forcing an extension of a domestic deal with Warner Bros. Discovery to keep it on HBO Max for now. That's in America, so they're covered. Last week, Paramount Plus's international license to stream episodes of the long-running animated series expired, which led to the streamer pulling the series from its global service. Yeah, big bummer. Big bummer. Paramount and Park County are both taking a hardline stance in negotiations when they resumed discussions recently. Kevin Morris, a lawyer for Park County, again, and one finger in the pie of South Park, refused to budge from a decade-long deal worth at least $3 billion. In recent years, Morris became a nationally known figure for his years-long legal and financial support for Hunter Biden. Okay, that's an off-cuff comment. Paramount's Chris McCarthy, who runs the company with two other co-CEOs, oversees the streaming and television programming side of the studio, and COO Keys Hill Edgar negotiates on the deals. So they've already negotiated the deal with Trey Parker and Matt Stone, seemingly, and here comes Skydance to put a kibosh on it. The Paramount Skydance deal has been held up in large part due to its own political dimension involving President Donald Trump and a lawsuit against 60 Minutes over an interview with Kamala Harris. So that's CBS, I believe. So they're being sued. I think they dealt on one of the lawsuits though already for $15-16 million. So apparently there's still another one going on with the 60 Minutes interview with Kamala Harris, which I would imagine some sort of slander. I don't particularly care about politics, as you can probably tell by my voice. So yeah, whatever. One possible factor in negotiations, an $800 million loan that Park County took in 2023 from private equity firm the Carlyle Group. Parker and Stone could be squeezed for cash to repay roughly $80 million in interest per year, according to one person knowledgeable about the arrangement, who noted that Paramount may be open to paying more than $150 million annually in a new deal, but not for 10 years. So what would that be? $150 million annually means, what's that? Here's my math skills coming out. So what's that? That's 450, 600 million. So $750 million times 2. So that's 1.5 billion over the 10 years, but they don't want to sign it for 10 years. So that's, yeah. Interesting. By Skydance's thinking, the interim operating agreement affords the company the right to approve and deny all material contracts. Park County has maintained that Skydance is barred from taking control and issuing directives until the merger's official closure. A legal battle is brewing. We hereby demand that you, Redbird, and Skydance immediately cease your interference, stated the letter from Park County to Shell sent on June 21st. Excuse me. If these activities continue, we will have no choice but to act to both protect our rights and discharge any obligations we may have to the public. And I think that's probably the end of it. Yeah, there we go. Okay, there's an update as per July 14th. Updated to characterize the new 10-year, $3 billion deal overall as more than tripling the valuation of the previous deal. So that's just course correction. Interesting point here about an $800 million loan that Park County, one of the companies involved in the running of South Park, but not South Park Digital. So key point. But they are involved in the management of it. So South Park Digital will be sort of, because they've done the games company along with it, but they don't. So Park County is the production company Trey Parker and Matt Stone run the show or make the show. South Park Digital is a slightly different thing, I think. So they took out an $800 million loan. What would they have done that for in 2023? Who knows? From a private equity firm. So that's an interesting sort of tidbit, and they'll probably try and use that as leverage to sort of force them onto a deal that maybe they weren't agreeing with in the first place. And they probably thought they were home sailing with regards to signing a $3 billion deal for a 10-year production deal for Paramount that would cover that $800 million loan. But now that's being kiboshed by potentially Skydance buying Paramount and not agreeing to that deal or subscribing to that deal. So it's all a mess. I think that's in summary. It's all a mess, and it's a big shame because those of you who are like me out there who love South Park, adore it, rewatch it constantly because it's still probably arguably one of, if not the best comedy still on telly. It's a bummer. It's a huge bummer. Like I said, it's there's a new series that was about to come out. We're all very excited about, and it sucks. It sucks that we've got to wait for that. First of all, we can't rewatch the 26 other series that they've done, specials that they've done for Paramount as well. They've been Paramount Plus exclusives with us internationally. I imagine that's a similar case for HBO Max in America, but they're covered, so great, you can watch it in America. I know what people are saying as well. You could probably just get a VPN and watch them in America, but yeah, it's an additional cost and it's a pain in the backside. I don't know if anyone else finds this, where they're trying to sort it out and have your telly run through the VPN to then run through the app. Anyway, long story short, but it's a bummer. Yeah, it's a bummer for fans. And yeah, you just hope this gets wrapped up. I don't see this getting wrapped up anytime soon unless someone backs down. Trey Parker and Matt Stone aren't typically known for backing down, especially against people that have wronged them. So I imagine, well, they're not going to make any more episodes, are they, until this is wrapped up? Because why would they? Maybe they will, just to spite them and put them online for free, because they've done that before. That'd be a ballsy move. That'd be a real baller move. But yeah, maybe they'll do that. That'll be good. But nevertheless, I think, this is the Skydance acquisition of Paramount has been so protracted anyway, and this is just another facet of it. But in essence, this is just media rights. And the interesting thing is, when Disney bought Fox, there was a lot of probing as to the ethical dilemmas of like, well, how many studios is too few? You know what I mean? Should Disney have so much control over so much IP, over so much content? And it's all it is, it's content ownership. But this is a slightly different issue where they're trying to sign, well, Paramount were trying to sign a lockdown Trey Parker and Matt Stone to Paramount exclusively. Skydance, the purchasers, go, well, you're proposing to pay them too much money. Stop that now. And Trey Parker and Matt Stone are fighting back and suing. Then you add in the facets of the purchase of the studio being potentially again put up in the air as a result of this additional lawsuit, and here we are in a movement. Anyway, does that impart? What do you think? Does that make any sense at all? Is it disappointing? Are you disappointed that South Park isn't going to be on our screens internationally? Certainly, I know you guys in America are all covered, but yeah, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Please leave me a like and subscribe as well for the channel, and I'll speak to you next time. Thank you so much.